Once upon a time, in a moonlit meadow surrounded by a dense forest, lived a silver rabbit named Oliver. His fur shimmered under the night sky, and his bright blue eyes sparkled with curiosity. Oliver loved to explore, and tonight, the full moon beckoned him to venture further than he ever had before. As he hopped through the meadow, Oliver came across a patch of vibrant wildflowers he had never seen. Entranced by their beauty, he followed the trail of flowers deeper into the forest. The trees, tall and ancient, seemed to whisper secrets to one another as their leaves rustled in the gentle night breeze. Oliver was so absorbed in the flowers that he didn't notice the sun setting and the forest growing darker. It wasn't until the last rays of sunlight faded and the moonlight struggled to penetrate the thick canopy that Oliver realized he was far from home. The once inviting forest now felt ominous, and every rustle and shadow seemed to harbor hidden dangers. Oliver's heart raced as he tried to remember the way back. He hopped in what he thought was the direction of home, but the forest seemed to twist and turn in ways he couldn't understand. The path he had followed had disappeared, swallowed by the darkness. "Stay calm, Oliver," he whispered to himself. "You can find your way back." But the forest had other plans. Strange sounds echoed around him. Hoots of owls, the distant howls of wolves, and the rustling of unknown creatures. Oliver's fur stood on end as he realized he was truly lost. Desperate, he searched for any familiar landmark, but the forest was a maze. His sharp ears picked up the sound of running water. "Maybe a stream will lead me out," he thought, remembering his mother's advice. Following the sound, Oliver came to a small brook, its water sparkling in the moonlight. He decided to follow the stream, hoping it would guide him home. The night seemed to stretch endlessly, and fatigue began to set in. Oliver's hops grew slower, his eyes drooping. He wanted nothing more than to curl up and rest, but the thought of home kept him going. As he trudged along the brook, Oliver noticed the trees starting to thin out. His heart leapt with hope. Perhaps he was nearing the edge of the forest. Suddenly, a pair of glowing eyes appeared in the darkness ahead. Oliver froze in fear. The eyes moved closer, and soon the shape of a large owl emerged from the shadows. "Who are you?" the owl hooted softly. "I'm Oliver, and I've lost my way home," he replied, his voice trembling. The owl's eyes softened. "You're far from the meadow, little one, but you're not alone. I am Orion, and I know these woods well. Follow me." Relieved, Oliver followed Orion as he flew from branch to branch, guiding him through the dark forest. The trees continued to thin out, and soon Oliver saw the familiar sight of the moonlit meadow ahead. "You're almost home," Orion said, his voice warm. "Be careful, little rabbit, and remember the way." "Thank you, Orion," Oliver said, his heart full of gratitude. He hopped out of the forest and into the safety of the meadow. The night no longer seemed so frightening with the promise of home just ahead. Oliver reached his burrow and snuggled into the warmth of his family. As he drifted off to sleep, he vowed never to venture so far into the forest alone again. And every night, he looked up at the moon, remembering the wise owl who had guided him home through the scary forest.